It is a nice day out. This is how long I've been working on this. All right, so y'all saw one day it was snow and all that on the ground, and today it's 70 degrees. So anyway, here's where we are. All right, so I'm going to take a little break from this. Look at this screw, y'all. I had to drill all the way down there, and nothing has been working so far. So I'm gonna just sit on that, and I'm gonna go back and start working on the original thing, which is the alternator. So we're ready to reassemble it, but first thing I want to do is put these couplings back on, and I want to put the O-rings on. But before we do that, want to make sure that the O-rings go on and they stay moisturized and lubricated. So what we're going to do is take a Q-tip and we're going to dip it in some fresh coolant, and we're going to rub the coolant all over here and then slide the O-ring on. And then I'll put this back on the car. I'm going to do the same thing for the one that's already on the car, okay? So I'm going to demonstrate it, how I'm doing it, but it's quite simple. Just make sure you lubricate that real good and put the O-ring on. Another thing we need to do is put the pulley onto the alternator, and I'll show you guys how to do that. You're going to need a triple square set, and I'll leave a link in the description below on where you can get that from pretty inexpensively. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to dip this in there, some fresh coolant, and I'm going to rub this around. Make sure it's nice and lubricated, especially in that groove. And clean all that. And there we go. And I'm going to put this O-ring on. I'm going to put some more coolant over top of the O-ring to make sure it's lubricated. Kind of like you would, you know, with an oil change. Alright. So we're going to do that for both. I'm going to do it for the other one that's on the car, and this I just wanted to show you how to do it. And then I'm going to attach the hoses to the alternator before I put anything else on. Alright, so now that we got all this stuff back in place, we got the new O-rings on, and everything's all lubricated up. What we're going to do now is put the pulley onto the alternator, and you're going to need a M10 triple square bit for that, and you're going to need an adjustable wrench. So let's go ahead and do that. It should be pretty simple. You're obviously going to put the triple square bit in the top, use the adjustable wrench to hold this. Wait a minute, I can just get this off. Almost. Well, it was tight at first, but I guess, you know, it wasn't that tight. So there you go. If yours is tight, you don't need to put that on there, but there you go. Now here's the interesting thing. This is right up against that. I don't think that's supposed to rub, and I don't have the old alternator anymore. How about that? How about that? Okay. Alright, so anyway, we're going to go ahead and put that on there. We're going to tighten this up. But I feel like that shouldn't touch this. Oh boy. Let's see. Okay, everybody, so some footage got, I don't know, corrupted, and so I'm gonna have to just give you guys the abridged version of what was going on. So I ended up getting the alternator, and as you guys saw, the pulley was touching the alternator, so that was wrong. As I tightened it up, it just wouldn't move at all, and it needs to be free. So they didn't send me the appropriate ring for it. So it's like a little well, it's not little, it's a thick washer that goes there that gives it just like a 0.5 millimeter of clearance. So I went on ahead, I had to order that, and on top of that, they didn't send me the washer either for the actual nut that secures the pulley to the alternator. So I had to buy another kit. And they also never gave me my core charge back for the water pump, which I have to call them about. So I ended up replacing the water pump. I made a whole video going over the plastic versus the metal impellers. I think I did that. I don't know. I think I might have included it in the last video, but whatever, that footage is gone. I ordered a water pump from Volkswagen. It was $200 something. Then I ordered another one for like $70, $80 from Rock Auto, made by Beck Arnley. I think it was made by Beck Arnley, and it had a metal impeller, but the finish was just terrible. It was made in China too, and I didn't want to risk it failing. Whether I sell the car or not, I didn't want to risk that failure. And so I ended up putting the Volkswagen water pump on, as you see, because I know you guys are looking like, wait man, how'd you just jump to the alternator and all that stuff was on the car? So yes, I ended up getting a new tensioner, the new idler pulleys, the alternator. I ordered all that extra stuff, got the alternator together, put the alternator on. But all that stuff, literally, it took like 3 weeks. I think it took a little bit longer to get all the parts to get that stuff together. So here it all is in one episode. All right, so I got the tensioner on. The pulley didn't come. It was just a tensioner. And for reference, so you guys know, this is an M8 bolt. So it's tightens down to 19 foot-pounds, and that's an M10. You tighten that down to 30. It was actually obviously really easy to replace. See this? You notice this doesn't have the grooves like the old one. And I'm kind of wondering if this just came from the belt, but I doubt it. I mean, it seemed like it was machined that way. To me, a kind of a better design. But yeah, when you're comparing the two, I mean, it's kind of night and day. And the new one also kind of flops around like this. The only difference is, instead of having a nice bolt here, they have what you call this, like a star head, which again is going to be prone to stripping. So I don't know whether this design is much better than this one. But there we go. And also this, this has a lot more play in it. When you spin it, it doesn't spin like that one stops. That one keeps going. So, I mean, this was a little worn. So now I have another issue. When I was putting everything back together, I was about to put the air intake back together, and I noticed this oil. And I've kind of always noticed it, but today I really looked at it, and I just replaced this hose. Well, actually, no, this hose isn't new, but it isn't broken. I replaced this one. This all goes part to the PCV system, both PCV system. I mean, these two go into, it was a breather. I don't even know where it is right now, somewhere around here. But this is leaking, and that's not good. That can cause all types of issues. And so I'm going to try to replace that. The problem is it's discontinued, and that's what happens when you have old cars. So this part is discontinued. I can get it from Lithuania, but I'm not really sure how that's going to work out, ordering it from Lithuania. I sent the seller an email to see how long it would take to get here. But at least I don't have to take the whole front end off in order to fix that part. Now, I did see one on eBay. The guy's asking $60 for it. It's used, but I sent him an offer for $25. We'll see what happens. I don't really want to pay that much for a used one because it, you know, could also be messed up. And if I did decide to keep this, or for whoever buys it after me, you know, I really do want to put new parts on there while I can, because again, you know, at some point, you're not going to be able to get parts for this anymore, short of buying another car. Like, it'll be nothing you can get that's new. So I wanted to, I do want to put new, genuine Volkswagen parts on there. So we got a new water pump, new alternator, well, refurbished, newish alternator, new tensioner. So all that'll be good for at least 100,000 miles. Got new pulleys, new auto pulleys, and I'm going to go ahead and try to replace that. I'm thinking about, I don't know. It depends on how long the guy says. So I'll probably order from Lithuania and just go ahead and put the car back together. It'll still run and stuff for now, but you know, if I can get it sooner than later, I want to go ahead and get that because it's a pain taking this intake on and off. Moving on to another part I didn't mention. When I put this thing in a gear, it always screams at me through the parking sensor. Now, I did get this used off eBay. I forgot how much I paid. It was something super short. I think it was less than $20. Problem here is this obviously goes, this one will go there, and this one will go there, but it wouldn't, I don't think this will fit that. And I can't remember which one. It's one of these on the passenger side. So here's the hoping it's this one. I'm gonna go ahead and replace that because that's easy. Just disconnect that and pull that out. But this, I don't know. We're just gonna leave that alone because I don't want to break anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap this out real quick right now, and then that'll be it for today. Actually, y'all, I'm lying. I forgot something else. So I was also waiting on a PCV valve, which came really late as well. I ordered that like 2 weeks ago. Took basically 2 weeks to come, and I got that off of eBay. I got it used. But I wish I would have checked the form because this is the old one. As it turns out, you can just open these up. And now I'm looking at it. Yeah, you see that. You just pop that off and you can rebuild it yourself. They get clogged over time. And I think this one's clogged. You can just clean it up with some brake cleaner. You know, get a little wire brush, wipe it down, and that should be that. But I'm going to keep this as a backup just in case that one leaks or whatever, because this little foam padding here was pretty crushed, whereas on this one, you see it's pretty thick. So we're going to put that over there. So other than that, I just need to start putting stuff back together. I'll start working on it last night a little bit, but I said let me stop and just get some stuff on camera. One thing I did do was lose some screws. I had to go back and watch my last video, and I saw that I laid the screws in here, and I'm hoping, yes, they're still in there. There it is. Ha! Man, I mean, I'm just so happy that I documented this and I caught that on camera because I'd have never found them. Yeah, well, here's the other one sitting right there. Boom. I was not going to find those, y'all. All right, and I just bought those too. Anyway, let's get back to work.